This is a disaster. The Boston Celtics just signed a rising star from the Knicks Summer League. We're talking about the Ukrainian center, Dmytro Skapintsev. We're also going to take a look at the Knicks leaked jerseys for next season. All of this and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Celtics have just stolen the Knicks' rising star from Summer League. Reports have indicated recently that the Knicks are still looking for a center to add to this team, whether that be via free agency or via trade. However, they still need more centers headed into training camp as well, too. And since that's the case, I was hoping for them to sign somebody else who's a big man to this roster for training camp because we're going to need it, especially with Mitchell Robinson not being available. We're going to need more size at camp because that's how we're going to stay competitive. And I was hoping, praying that potentially the Knicks could sign Dmytro Skapintsev to a training camp contract. But unfortunately, as it was just announced, the Boston Celtics beat the Knicks to the punch, and they announced that they've signed Dmytro Skapintsev to an Exhibit 10 contract. Let's break down these latest reports from Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype. According to Michael Scotto, the Boston Celtics and Dmytro Skapintsev have agreed to an Exhibit 10 deal. The 7'1" center from Ukraine was called up by the New York Knicks last season. He's two-way eligible and enters training camp looking to compete for a spot with the Celtics. What a disaster. The Boston Celtics already have a former Knick who was a center in Kristaps Porzingis. Now they have another former Knick in Dmytro Skapintsev. And the thing is, the Knicks had him. The Knicks had him on the roster. All they needed to do was do what they did with Landry Shamet, with Marcus Morris. Extend him an Exhibit 9 contract. If they did that, he would be part of our training camp, competing for that last roster spot. And you know what? Given the competition at center at training camp for the Knicks, I think he would have had a great chance to make the roster, especially given where Mitchell Robinson is right now and our depth at center being only Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Sims. I think he could have came in handy. But now we'll never know because the Boston Celtics beat us to the punch. Now they have him as part of their roster for training camp. And you know what? I think that kid is going to do very well there. I think he's going to show out. And I think he's going to earn a roster spot for the Celtics. I think he's that good. He showed us what he was capable of during Summer League for us. And that wasn't even his whole bag. That was just a small part of it. I think when he's pushed in training camp, you'll see a better version of him. I just only wish that better version was under the Knicks, that we could see him. But it's not going to happen now. And I'm not saying he's the be-all, end-all. The Knicks obviously have other options that they can go to. They can still make a trade. I don't think they're going to go that route. Or they can look at the free agency market, which I think that's exactly what they're going to do. But either way, they have options. The unfortunate part was one of those options was Dmytro Skapintsev. But now you can cross him off the list. The Knicks are going to have to look elsewhere for other backup options at the center position. And they can find it, of course, but they had this one in their hands and they don't have it anymore, and they let it slip away to the Boston Celtics, your rivals, the team that's likely your biggest threat next season. That's something you should never allow to happen. But this is where we are right now. I wish Skapintsev the best, although if he does make the Celtics roster, I'm never going to be able to root for him in the same way again because I'm going to have to root against him. But I know the Knicks and Leon Rose will recover from this. We'll move on from this. We'll get better from this. There are other players that we can target and we can add to this team. And I think that's exactly what Leon Rose is going to do. But once you join the Celtics, and I'm talking to Dmytro Skapintsev, if that happens and you make that roster, again, salute to you and everything that you do. But after that, I'm never going to be able to see you in the same light. And that's just the way it goes. When you used to be a Knick and you joined the Boston Celtics, forever, it's always going to be a little bit different. And I'm going to look at you just a little bit different. But for him, I don't think he cares about any of that. He's just happy to be on any roster to potentially make an NBA team, an official NBA team with a standard roster spot. And I think he has a very good chance of doing that for the Celtics. Again, I'm a little envious here because I wish he was doing that for us during training camp. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen right now. It's also good to note that the Westchester Knicks agreed to trade the returning player rights to Dmytro Skapintsev to the Maine Celtics in exchange for the returning player rights to Brandon Slater and Joe Wieskamp. That does nothing for the Knicks, but shout out to the Westchester Knicks for being able to pull off that move. Dmytro Skapintsev going to the Celtics make their roster just a little bit better, which in turn hurts the Knicks just a little bit. But I do believe Leon Rose and this Knicks front office will find a way to overcome it and make sure we are ready to go come the regular season. But something else I want to talk about before we end today's show. The Knicks have leaked their jerseys for next season. I'm talking about the new City Edition jerseys. And I gotta say, it's kind of underwhelming. Shout out to New York Basketball on the app X for giving us the following information. According to them, this is apparently the official image of the new Knicks City Edition jerseys. And as you can see, it's basically the same thing they did last year, only instead of the blue, they went white. That's really the only difference. And I believe there are some pinstripes there, but that's really it. Nothing else, nothing more. Out of all of the designs, all of the concepts, all of the things you could have done, what did you do? You just basically did what you did last year, but then you went white instead of blue. That's all? The Knicks, Knick fans, everybody, we all deserve better than just that. There's no reason to get that jersey when it's just a color change. It doesn't make sense. Each and every time we do one of these City Edition jerseys, it should feel different. It should look different. It should be different. Maybe have a different designer who lives in New York do it each and every year. I'm not sure how the whole process should work and all, but what I'm saying is we need more input here from fans and everybody else who's going to buy these jerseys. Because if we're going to root for our team, rep our team, then we should have some input, some say into the jersey that we're going to buy and see our teams in. And honestly, this is just not it. I get the simplicity of it all. Don't get me wrong. I like that about last year's version, but I want something just a little bit different. Maybe keep that same colorway and design, but add another element to it. Do something else. Make it feel different. Make it feel fresh. This feels stale. You took out the blue and just left white there. And in my opinion, this jersey, just like this with only white, and I know it's missing the number, I get all of that, it doesn't resonate with me. Not as much as the ones last year did, and I think they could have done a better job this year. This feels like a lazy design choice. I hope this isn't the final version. I hope they can still change it, because if they can, my vote would be change it, make an upgrade, add another element to the jersey, because we need that. We need differences. If you're going to ask fans to give out their hard-earned money, then give us something worth buying. Give us something enticing. Give us something different. This isn't different. It's more of the same. I don't know about you guys, but for me, this gets a thumbs down. In my opinion, I don't like the concept because it's too similar to last year. And also, they changed blue for white. Don't know why. Don't really care why. I know we haven't seen the number reveal yet. Maybe that changes things, but as of right now, I don't really like the whole concept. But what about you guys? Do you agree with me? Do you not like this jersey concept? Or maybe you guys disagree. You might like the jersey concept. Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans. Peace.